So today I'm going to talk about getting better with people and overall just developing your skill of talking to people, getting out of your comfort zone, stop being an introvert, and really just feel a little bit more confident when you're in social situations. So some of this video is going to be inspired by the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, but I'm not going to go over like a big summary of this book. Really, I read this book like a year and a half ago, and at this point, I kind of just subconsciously do some of the things that the book mentions and how to deal with people better. So now I kind of just naturally do those things, and I've found success in my life. And yeah, I feel like I've gotten better at this skill because when I was younger, I mean, even in high school and college, I was very like unconfident and very like shy. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't even want to be like seen in public, you know. But in like the idea of going up to random groups intimidated me, going up to new people intimidated me. Like if I wanted to talk to another dude, I'd be scared because I'd be thinking, like, for some reason, I'd be thinking, like, oh, he might be better than me, or he might be, like, I would just have this weird idea that he would already be judging me, type of thing. So I was always really, like, in my head and fearful of what I was going to say and messing up and not saying the right thing. So, yeah, I was very shy, introverted, but yeah, just a point I want to make is that if you identify as introverted or shy, like don't use it as an excuse to not develop your social skills and your people skills because whether you're naturally extroverted or naturally introverted, doesn't matter. You're still going to have to learn how to develop your people skills if you want to become more valuable as an employee, if you want to have a better life and have more access to other things, you're going to have to learn how to open your mouth and talk. So that's what I learned is that this skill can help you in every area of your life. So, how did I actually start getting better at talking to random people? Well, mainly it's been a long process, but like I said, first of all, I read a book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that literally talked about the skill of dealing with people and a perspective that you can take on in every social situation, what things you can think about, what types of questions you can ask. So, after I read that book and I actually implemented some of the things I learned, I found success over time, and it just reinforced those things that I read. So, yeah, new perspective can help. So, learning. learning by watching content. Maybe this video can help you and give you a different perspective. And if something like clicks and you start to change your beliefs a little bit, and because of that, you start to implement it in your life, then you'll start to see success. And because success feels good, you'll just naturally keep on doing that thing and you'll get better that way. So that's the first thing is learning. Seek learning on this skill of getting better with people. I didn't invest too much learning myself of the actual skill of like talking to people and communication. But, the minimal stuff that I did learn, like how to win friends and influence people, and just watching self-improvement content over the years, it has helped in my people skills. So, learning is a big thing. Another thing that is going to help is getting better as a person. And this is probably one of the most important things is if you want to get better at dealing with people, talking with people, being social and during events, being more confident, then you have to get better as a person yourself. So you have to invest in your health and you have to take care of your habits. You have to work through your problems. You have to work through your traumas and your pains because if you're toxic and you're this toxic ball of goo roaming around in your daily life, then you're going to have more intrusive thoughts and you're going to think like bad thoughts about yourself. You're going to put yourself down. And so every time you go into a conversation, you're going to have these intrusive thoughts like, shit, I did not do my work today. I did not like try hard at all today at all. And so if you have these like feelings when you're going into social situations, you're going to give off a worse type of energy than if you were confident in knowing that you tried hard and knowing that you were healthy and knowing that you got good sleep. So become a better person, and this will help you in your conversations with people. Along that note is view yourself in a better light. So instead of viewing yourself as this like shy, introverted person, because if you're watching this video, you'll notice that the title says even get better at talking to people, even for introverts. So if you identify as an introvert, then you're going to have this like label on yourself. And so every time you go into a social situation, you're going to have these limiting beliefs like, oh, I'm an introvert. So introverts don't interact with people, or introverts keep to themselves, you know? So view yourself in a better light. View yourself as a confident, outgoing person. And I know it sounds easy to say, but a way to do it is through visualizing. And I'm not saying it's gonna be an instant switch of like you just viewing yourself in a better light and now you're this person. It's gonna be a process of practicing viewing yourself in a better light. You know, when you see yourself in the mirror at home, and you look in the mirror, try to view yourself in a better light when you have a little bit of downtime and you have time to visualize and plan. Start viewing yourself in a better light. Things like viewing yourself as confident, viewing yourself as strong, those types of things will help you when you go into the social situations. So, yeah, big things, invest in your learning on this skill of talking to people, get better as a person by developing yourself, by taking care of your health, by taking care of your habits, by consuming good quality information, not toxic, gross information, and view yourself in a better light. So if you could start to do these things, then going into conversations will be much easier because people are naturally attracted to a confident person who's confident in themselves. So, once you start doing these things, I mean, this is going to be a process. Those three things that I just said is going to be the biggest process. I'm not going to sell you the idea of this is going to be easy because it will take a long ass time. I still feel personally that I'm not the best at communicating or the best at saying how I feel or the best at talking to random people. But over the years, 2.5, 3 years, I've gotten better at it. So these are the things that you should be working on to get better at this skill. So how do you actually implement these things that I said? The learning, the developing yourself, and the viewing yourself in a higher light. How do you actually implement these things now? Well, you have to practice in public. You have to practice it with your coworkers at work. You have to ask more questions to your coworkers. You have to view yourself in a better light when you're at work. And then just see how these conversations are going. And, after work in your daily life, if you go to the grocery store, strike up a conversation with the cashier. And you can do something as simple as, how's it going today? Are you guys busy? I mean, even small talk. Don't be afraid of saying the right thing. If you can just reinforce that like newer version of yourself that strikes up random conversations, then you'll get better at this skill, even if it feels uncomfortable or a little weird. Like, how's it going today? Just something as simple as that. Strike up conversations with random people when you're at the park. If you see like a cute girl, go and talk to her. If you see like a guy that seems pretty like similar to you or cool, go and talk to him. It doesn't matter what you say, it's really your intentions going into it. And so it's about your energy going into it. And that's really all you have to worry about. If you know you have good intentions and you try to have good energy, then it doesn't, you can say, hey, the sky's blue today. And most likely it will still turn out to be a good conversation as long as you have good energy and you have good intentions. So that's how you actually start practicing and implementing these core things that I was telling you about of the learning, investing in your health, and yeah, I kind of just forgot the last one. But yeah, learning, investing in yourself, and then seeing yourself in a better light. And yeah, just start to implement these things in your daily life. So, couple like other tips I will say. This this will relate back to the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, just because this book has helped me. It was one of the learnings that I did, and it has helped me when I was actually have been implementing, getting better at this skill of talking to people. And so some of the things, some like tips that have helped me are listen more and talk less. Like I know it's simple, but don't forget about that skill of just listening more and talking less. Really, you should have the discipline to not really have to talk about yourself, you know? Start to become more interested in the other person. Start to ask them questions. Ask as many questions as you can. Don't really talk about yourself unless they ask. Assume mm, that the other person is not interested in what you have to say unless they ask you. Then you can, give a brief answer, but then turn the conversation back on them, you know, and you'll find some pretty good success like this if you just focus on the other person. If you can have the discipline to not yap about your own life, then you'll find pretty good success like that. And yeah, just have a focus on the other person as a person. It becomes pretty easy to start talking to people and getting better at this. So, hopefully, you got some value out of this video. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button, and I appreciate you watching.